Honorable colleagues, I am Mark Gbillah, representing Gwe East, Gwe West Federal Constituency of Benue State. I rise to move a motion on the investigation of the lack of patronage of Nigerian companies in the provision of steel products and services and the outrageous taxes and duties imposed on steel product manufacturers and service providers. The House is informed that compared to imported steel products, the customs duties and taxes imposed by the Nigerian Customs Service on the raw materials used in the production of steel by local manufacturers is between 25% to 40%, which amounts to more than double and sometimes triple the duties paid on imported steel products. The House notes that exorbitant duties and taxes are making it impossible for the local manufacturers to compete with imported steel products in terms of pricing, which results in the lack of patronage of these companies by end users in the power, oil and gas, railways, and other sectors. The House is concerned that at this period that the nation's economy is in recession, thus necessitating the diversification of its economy, government policies and its agencies are encouraging capital flight and creating jobs in other climes to the detriment of Nigeria's gross domestic product and overall economic development. The House is aware that the transmission company of Nigeria, for instance, has billions of dollars in steel equipment requirements over the next 15 to 20 years and actually provides duty exemption certificates to companies to encourage importation of steel products with 0% duties. And their payment terms solely rely on letters of credit, which presupposes that all the required transmission equipment, which are mostly steel products, are imported. The House is also aware of the allegation that the Dangote refinery has been patronizing foreign companies in the fabrication of tanks and other steel-related equipment in its ongoing construction process. The House is further aware that in most instances, this lack of patronage of local companies and products is a clear violation of the Nigeria's Oil and Gas Industry Content Development Act 2010 and other relevant national policies and laws that emphasize the patronage of local products, manufacturers, and service providers. The House is equally aware that the argument about the quality of local steel products and services does not hold water, as local manufacturers have met and obtained ISO and other global quality standards and certification, and have provided several products and services that are currently utilized in a few sectors of the economy and that exceed the standard of foreign alternatives. The House is also concerned that the current efforts to increase national revenue, GDP, and employment opportunities through encouraging made-in-Nigeria products will be defeated if this situation is allowed to persist. The House therefore resolves to mandate the committees on steel, power, petroleum resources upstream and downstream, local content, customs and excise, and land transport to invite the Comptroller General of Customs and other related ministers and relevant stakeholders to provide details of the prevailing duties and tariffs for imported raw materials in the steel sector, the modalities for a new tariff regime in this regard, and to confirm the veracity of the claim of lack of patronage of local steel products and service companies in their related sectors, and the likely violation of extant local content laws, and to report back to this Honourable House within 8 weeks for further legislative action. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
The recession is telling on the microphone here. I rise, Mr. Speaker, Professor Magidala be representing the North and the South, Egbedore and Ejigbo Federal Constituency, and I'm from the state of Osun. I rise to move the motion, to second the motion as moved by my good friend Mark Gbillah. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
All inundated with the issues our economy currently has. And the real sector of this economy is critical to our economic recovery and the diversification policy of this administration. This is a sector which, unfortunately, due to the moribund state of Ajaokuta steel mill and other steel facilities, is crawling on its knees. And the few companies who can provide a huge contribution, because we all know the number of steel products and services that we enjoy in our personal lives and in our various industries. So this is a very critical aspect of our economy. But unfortunately, policies of government seem to be counterproductive to the results that we can also experience in terms of GDP, local content development, and revenue, because the customs service is imposing 25% to 40% more taxes and duties on imported raw materials than the finished products from other countries. Now, that logically does not make sense with regards to the fact that we are creating market in our country for these products that are also locally produced, sometimes that even exceed the quality of products imported from other countries. I want to emphasize the point that this country is endowed with capabilities that we don't seem to appreciate. We have the requisite international certifications and quality requirements with regards to steel products that are currently even utilized in critical areas of the oil and gas and power sectors. It is unfortunate that even government-related agencies and institutions are encouraging this capital flight. The TCN, for instance, like I mentioned, it's confirmed in their contracts that they issue duty exemption certificates that enable contractors import these products while the local companies are not given any opportunity to create that capacity and to create the jobs that we need at this critical time in our sector. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm sure that other colleagues of ours in this honorable House will very soon be looking at critical sectors where we have noticed that we are not encouraging the development of our economy locally. And this is one critical area that I want us to look at. It is worrisome that even in related private sector initiatives that have been mentioned, sometimes of concern to me, as if it was part of our country's policy, that they will contribute more quota to the oil and gas and oil production. Those entities are some of those who are alleged to even be encouraging capital flight in this country and using foreign suppliers and manufacturers against our local producers who are currently wallowing in penury and just trying to break even. This is a very straightforward issue, Mr. Speaker. I want to crave the indulgence of my colleagues to please support this motion so that we can start to critically address fundamental problems with our diversification objective and the lack of development of certain critical sectors of our economy. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.